Hello everyone. Today, I want to share a detailed account of my journey learning English, particularly through watching TV shows and movies. Many of us encounter a similar challenge. We turn on the TV, excited to watch something in English, but we quickly realize that understanding the dialogue without subtitles is incredibly difficult. This issue was a major hurdle for me when I first started learning English. Initially, I would select a show in English and begin watching, full of enthusiasm. However, I soon noticed that I couldn't make out the words the actors were saying unless I turned on the subtitles. This experience was frustrating because I felt I should be able to understand the content without any assistance. I mistakenly believed that relying on subtitles was a sign of failure or a lack of progress. I vividly recall moments where I sat on my couch, eager to enjoy my favorite shows, only to be left feeling disheartened because I couldn't follow the fast-paced dialogue. The actors spoke so quickly, and the words seemed to merge together into an indistinct blur. I kept asking myself, why can't I understand this? What am I doing wrong? These moments were incredibly discouraging. However, my perspective began to change when I realized that subtitles could be an invaluable tool, not just a crutch. They played a significant role in improving my listening skills and expanding my English vocabulary. Let me delve deeper into my personal experience and share some practical tips that were crucial in helping me navigate this challenge. Using subtitles turned out to be a real game changer. When I watched shows with English subtitles, I could see the exact words being spoken, along with their meanings. This practice was instrumental in helping me understand proper pronunciation, context, and even grammar structures. It dawned on me that subtitles were not a sign of weakness, but rather a powerful learning aid. One of the most significant challenges I faced was the rapid pace and distinct pronunciation of native English speakers. They spoke at what seemed like lightning speed, which can be overwhelming when you're just starting to learn a new language. I realized that native speakers often speak at a natural pace, which is much faster than what learners are typically accustomed to. This rapid pace made it incredibly difficult to catch individual words and phrases, leading to a lot of confusion. To tackle this issue, I decided to change my approach. Initially, I stopped watching those fast-paced TV shows and movies because I recognized that I wasn't ready to comprehend everything being said. Instead, I turned to YouTube and began watching educational videos created by native speakers or individuals with a high level of English proficiency. These videos were often slower and clearer, making it easier for me to grasp the content. Watching educational content on YouTube helped me build a solid foundation in the language. I focused on videos where people shared stories, explained vocabulary, or discussed grammar rules in detail. This method allowed me to learn at a more manageable pace, and I quickly realized the importance of choosing content that matches your current language level. Setting realistic goals was another crucial step in my learning journey. For example, I wanted to read an entire book in English, but I knew that my language skills weren't quite there yet. So, I started with shorter articles and books designed for language learners. Gradually, as my comprehension improved, I moved on to more complex materials. Eventually, I felt ready to tackle the popular TV show Friends, which many people recommend for English learners. However, I found it quite challenging at first due to the fast dialogue and abundant slang. Recognizing my limitations, I paused and returned to watching educational videos on YouTube to strengthen my skills further. Another significant hurdle was understanding idioms and slang, which are often prevalent in TV shows and movies. These expressions aren't typically covered in traditional language classes, making them particularly confusing for learners. To overcome this, I made it a habit to use English subtitles whenever I watched anything. This strategy allowed me to see idioms and slang in context, helping me understand their meanings. If I came across a phrase I didn't know, I would pause, look it up, and sometimes even create flashcards to review later. Over time, I became more familiar with these expressions and could recognize them in different contexts. For instance, I once heard the phrase break a leg in a show and had no idea what it meant. After pausing the show and looking it up, I learned that it's an idiom used to wish someone good luck. These moments of discovery made the learning process enjoyable and engaging. Subtitles were invaluable to me not only for vocabulary building, but also for improving my pronunciation and understanding of context. Whenever I encountered a new word or phrase, I would pause the show, look it up, and create a flashcard. This method allowed me to review and retain new information effectively. I cannot emphasize enough how beneficial subtitles can be for anyone learning a new language. They make the learning process much more manageable and effective by providing a clear visual and auditory link to the language. One platform that was particularly helpful during my journey was LingoPie. This platform is specifically designed for language learners who want to improve their skills by watching TV shows and movies. LingoPie offers interactive subtitles that provide instant translations with a simple click. Additionally, the platform includes built-in flashcards and quizzes to reinforce learning. If I encountered a word I didn't know, I could click on it for an instant translation, and the platform would automatically create a flashcard for me to review later. This made learning new words and phrases both effortless and fun. Another challenge I encountered was understanding different accents and dialects within the English language. English is spoken with various regional accents, and it can be challenging to understand them all, even for native speakers. As a learner, it's important to be patient with yourself and not get discouraged if you can't understand every accent right away. In my case, I initially focused on one accent, American English, because it was the most familiar to me. I watched movies and shows where the characters spoke with an American accent. Once I felt more comfortable, I began exposing myself to other accents, such as British English. This gradual approach allowed me to build my listening skills without feeling overwhelmed. I remember the first time I watched a British show. The accents were quite different, and I struggled to understand. However, I reminded myself that it's okay to find it difficult and that practice would help me improve. Over time, I became more comfortable with various accents and dialects. Movies and TV shows also often include cultural references that can be challenging for non-native speakers to understand. These references can range from historical events to popular jokes and idioms that are specific to a particular culture. To better grasp these cultural nuances, I immersed myself in the culture as much as possible. I watched popular American shows and movies, listened to American music, and read about American history and culture. This immersion helped me understand the context of certain jokes and references better. I also learned to accept that I wouldn't understand every cultural reference, and that was okay. It's all part of the learning process. For example, when I first started watching The Office, an American TV show, I didn't get all the jokes and cultural references. But as I watched more episodes and learned more about American culture, I began to understand and appreciate the humor. Here are some practical tips and techniques that significantly help me improve my understanding of English through TV shows and movies. Start with subtitles. Always use subtitles in the target language. This helps you see and understand the words being spoken, aiding in vocabulary and pronunciation learning. Pause and rewind. Don't hesitate to pause and rewind if you don't understand something. This allows you to take the time to look up unfamiliar words and phrases, helping reinforce your learning. Use flashcards. Create flashcards for new words and phrases. This practice helps reinforce your learning and makes it easier to remember new vocabulary. Choose appropriate content. Select content that matches your current level of understanding. Educational videos and children's shows are excellent starting points, as they often use simpler language. Gradual exposure. Gradually expose yourself to different accents and dialects. Start with one accent that you're comfortable with, and then explore others as you become more confident. Immerse in culture. Immerse yourself in the culture associated with the language you're learning. Watch popular shows, listen to music, and read about the culture to understand context better. Practice regularly. Consistency is crucial in language learning. Practice regularly, even if it's just for a short time each day. This consistent effort helps build and reinforce your skills over time. Reflecting on my journey, I am amazed at how far I've come. From struggling to understand even a single word to enjoying TV shows without the need for subtitles. This journey has been incredibly rewarding, filled with both challenges and moments of triumph. I remember the frustration and the times when I felt like giving up, but persevering through those difficult moments made me stronger and more determined. One of my proudest achievements was watching an entire episode of Friends without subtitles and understanding almost everything. It felt like a significant milestone and motivated me to continue improving my English. If you're struggling with understanding TV shows and movies in English, know that you're not alone. Many language learners face this challenge, but with patience and the right strategies, you can overcome it. Use subtitles to your advantage, choose content that's appropriate for your level, and immerse yourself in the culture. Remember, every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Don't be discouraged by setbacks. Language learning is a journey filled with ups and downs. Learning a new language is a journey, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. Using subtitles, focusing on educational content, and gradually increasing the difficulty level helped me a lot.